Katie, Mary, Cruz, welcome to the Conduit Club in London. Law firms have got through COVID by some miracle, 2 years of record growth. What challenges are we seeing ahead of us?
I think we're seeing a mismatch between what clients are asking for and what law firms can offer. And I think from the law firm point of view, there is a level of confusion about where they need to go next, particularly around how they deliver services and how they get the chance to deliver those services. So their business development services within the law firm are not matched up to what partners want to do, which are not matched up to what clients want them to do. And none of this is being done universally well in any law firm. So there's no real understanding of what the vision and values of law firm A is from the partners within law firm A. And they're just not delivering together.
And the question is, are they gonna continue growing at the same speed now that winter is coming? And can they also provide assistance to clients when clients are also facing even more uncertainty, considering what's going on around the world? So when we've been talking to clients, what we see a lot is questions on how can we continue growing at the same speed, and internally, what can we do to be more efficient? And it goes back to, is it new clients? Is it working with current clients better? Do we have the right structures? Are we listening enough to our own clients in order to provide the services that they require? Are they going to pay us what we want?
So we're talking about the two mismatches. So firstly, Katie, the mismatch of the partners and the internal way that business development is structured. And Mary Cruz has highlighted the mismatch between the client's requirement and the firm needs. Katie, isn't it simple? The firms just need to find out what clients want and then align to that. Shouldn't that be pretty straightforward?
Yes, but they've been trying to do it for 20 years and they haven't got there yet. So obviously it's not as straightforward as it appears on paper. And I think maybe that's something to do with the nature of a partnership. When it's first formed, a partnership is small. It brings together individuals and it's focused on the needs of the individual being serviced by people who come together. But once firms get bigger and bigger and bigger, that groupthink gets harder and harder and harder to transmit across the firm, and it gets harder to agree on a strategy because some things have got to stop and some things have got to start. And the collegiate spirit that goes along with a partnership can't exist. There's got to be an autocratic level to the collegiality, if that makes any sense. And holding each other accountable is difficult when you've got a group of people who think they think the same way but don't quite.
I mean, it's interesting that we've done a lot of this founder to firm. So this transition from founding partners, and the founding partners and the relationship with their clients is very clear. It's very one-to-one. But the question is, as they grow bigger, and you were saying, is how do they create a structure in which clients don't belong to each partner? How to make it wider in their interest, and then clients are expecting to work with a firm, not with a partner.
And they don't belong to one person, but they are the responsibility of one person, because the only way this works is in teams, and teams only work if you've got a captain. So there are all sorts of conversations that have to go on to make those teams work. They've got to understand the roles and the responsibilities that sit behind it. And that involves a very level-headed, consistently focused approach, which doesn't happen because law firms are interested in doing the law. They are lawyers, they do the law. That's why they're doing what they do, because that's what interests them. They're not necessarily interested in doing business development.
So presumably this is the partner paradox. This is, are we willing to be led? And if so, who we're willing to be led by and what authority we're willing to give to them. And the horrible contradiction between being autonomous professionals, which is why the partnership system has formed, into the modern requirement in a law firm of people working in more joined-up ways. So where are we starting with this, and where are we laying the blame? Is it in the structures required, or is it the behaviours that sit behind that? Where do we want to start?
I personally think that behaviours can only work if there is a governance structure that sits behind it. If I'm the founding partner of a firm, I recruit the people who I like to come and work with me. That may be a bit problematic because it just means you recruit a load of similar people. But on the basis that I don't, and I see the need for recruiting different people, you recruit on the basis that you like people and you want them to work with you and you think you can work together. So you get the behaviours because you all talk to each other, because you're a small firm of 5, 6, 7 people. As soon as that gets any larger, it starts to get unwieldy, and then you have to put in place a governance structure. But it's got to be plausible, and it's got to work, and it mustn't just be seen as bureaucracy, because otherwise people avoid the bureaucracy.
So it's behaviours which it could be linked to reward systems. It is true as well that depends on how big they are. I think when a law firm starts, they have this trust amongst themselves, and that makes it much easier to share the most precious thing that partners have, which is their own clients. And sharing that makes it, okay, reasonable, because we all trust each other and we know we're great lawyers. But then we move into what we call the adolescent stage in law firms and the transition into leadership. And if the governance, as you say, is not in the right place, there might be behaviours that are not, great around. And if the rewarding system is not correct and the accountability is not in place, then it's when we have, very chaotic situations around law firms.
Watch the full conversation in detail at Lexington Consultants website and follow us for more insights.